What's up, everybody?
Hey, everybody. How's it going?
Welcome back to the Northern Minutemen podcast.
Welcome.
Doing things a little different this week. Decided to get together on a Saturday morning.
21 below zero this morning.
Yeah. So don't even want to know what the weather would be like tomorrow evening on our way home from this.
Gosh.
If I leave the roadway on my way home, at least it'll be sunny when I freeze to death.
Yeah. She's cold.
Oh, yeah.
So cold that I'm wearing my coat upstairs.
I like your snow camouflage pit vipers, by the way.
Thank you.
Don't drop them in the snow.
Don't drop this. Don't drop the pit fight. Anyway, yeah, they're even more beneficial today because we have the light above us and now we have the sun coming in. But I love the view. It's too bad we couldn't have a camera to share that because this, I don't know, the wilderness in the winter is just amazing. But the sunlight is really bright coming at us from
Yeah.
that way too. So I don't wear them to be cool, but it doesn't hurt.
Exactly. So I realized that our last podcast was actually done on December 7th, and we didn't even mention Pearl Harbor Day. I feel so bad. That whole 1 hour we went through, it was probably an hour and 20-minute episode, and didn't even mention that it was December 7th.
Oops.
Yeah, I have to admit that I didn't even realize it was December 7th.
I knew it and then forgot to mention it, and I just feel terrible because, I remember growing up as a kid and talking to old timers that remembered December 7th, 1941, Pearl Harbor Day, and it just, that day has always been one of those days that was just a huge impact on my life. And then being stationed in Pearl Harbor, like Pearl Harbor Day is a big deal when you're in Hawaii.
Yeah.
It is a really big deal. Like December 7th is like a holy day in Hawaii. Like it's just a day of remembrance. Like Hawaii hasn't forgotten, but I feel like the rest of the world has forgotten what December 7th was all about.
I feel like the rest of the world has forgotten a lot.
Yeah.
Well, today's generation just doesn't care.
Right. Even 9/11, like how many people have forgotten about that, or either they were born after 9/11, like Blake, you were born after 9/11, right?
Nope.
How old were you when 9/11 happened?
3.
You were 3 years old. So it doesn't have the same effect on you as it does on Mike and I, probably.
No.
Yeah, it's a big part of why I enlisted. I was a freshman in high school, and I go to my band class, which was first hour, and there was no instruments played. We were just listening to the radio, and there was a lot of ignorance. Like, I didn't quite know what the Twin Towers were.
Yeah.
I don't think I'd been out of Idaho other than to move there. And so a plane hit the Twin Towers, and in my ignorant young mind, I thought an accidental private plane struck.
That's what everybody thought.
Yeah.
The first one.
And when we were in class, the second one hit.
Confusion.
Yeah. It why would someone go to that extent to do that? And then, of course, when details emerged, you learned that it was just radical Islam and their beliefs. But it is what made me extremely angry. And the patriot that I am, patriot that I was at the time, a big part of why I decided to at least try to enlist.
See, I had been out of the service for 1 month when I watched the second plane hit the tower. And I was like, boy, this is about to kick off. We're going into a world war. That's the first thing I thought. And my unit came back and asked me to come back into the service because when you're that fresh out, you can easily just go right back in. Like you can change your mind and be like, yep, I had a month off. I'm coming back. And you can literally go back to your unit.
Wow.
And they knocked on my door and they were like, hey, we're going to go take care of some business. You want to come with? And I was like, oh my gosh. And I had just paid for college with cash out of my own pocket. And I was like, I can't.
Yeah.
That money is non-refundable. And that was like my life savings.
Is there any idea on, do you know where you would have gone?
Yeah, they went straight to the Middle East and they launched 3 loads of Tomahawks, which would have been 24 times 3. They went over there and they exacted some revenge.
So everything that you had trained for.
Yeah, they went and did it.
That's hard to say no to.
I know. It was probably the hardest decision I've ever made in my life was not to go back.
Yeah.
But
yeah. Hey, so So, real quick, we have somebody that was 3 years old, somebody that hadn't even enlisted yet, was just starting high school, and you had gotten out.
Yep, I was 1 month out when that happened.
I thought you and I were a lot closer in age than we
Well,
were.
you calling me old?
Yep.
I'm 47.
I'm starting to think you dye your beard.
I don't, but it's starting to die itself. I'm getting some blonde on the sides.
Yeah.
Blonde.
Blonde.
That's what it is.
You know, there is a downside, if you will, to 9/11 being the reason why a lot of people enlisted. They bought into what the recruiter said or used that attack on our country to enlist, not realizing what they were getting into. And then a year after their enlistment, hated it and just became a turd.
Now hold on. So same thing happened. This conversation started because of December 7th, 1941.
Yeah.
How many millions of people enlisted after the Japanese hit Pearl Harbor?
I would argue that the patriotism in
Oh, it was strong.
yeah, it was it was in every house,
Yeah, 14-year-olds were lying about their age in
right?
1941 and saying, "Yeah, I want to go. I'm going to go fight the Japanese."
I think because of political correctness and government's desires to kiss the hands of everybody, mindset was long gone. It's unfortunate because I think we've even fallen further from that today. But I wish I could have experienced what it would have been like to have lines around the block at every recruiting station.
Yep.
I don't care what branch you put me in. I don't care what job you give me. I want to go fight the Japanese or the Germans. And I don't know. It's unfortunate, really. There are as many reasons today to be the patriot of World War II, but they're not recognized by the generations that can enlist, the
Yeah.
generations that could do something about it.
So I have an autographed newspaper downstairs, and it says Oahu bombed by the Japanese, and it's from the Honolulu Star Bulletin. So it's from December 8th, 1941, and it's an original newspaper. And there was an old dude. I'm trying to remember his name, but he lived
Bruce.
in, huh?
His name was Bruce.
Bruce. Was it O'Dear?
Mm,
His last name wasn't O'Dear. It
no,
was
it's not Atwater, was it?
Bruce Atwater. Dude, you are amazing. Bruce Atwater. I had the amazing opportunity to meet him, and he was in the Coast Guard, and he was standing on the pier in Pearl Harbor, and he watched the Japanese bomb Pearl Harbor. And I got to sit with him and have a cup of coffee with him, and he gave me a firsthand account of what it was like to watch the Japanese attack Pearl Harbor. And he lived in Bemidji. He was in a nursing home in Bagley, and I went and got to meet him. And he came out to Off Grid to the store here, and I had him autograph my newspaper, a living witness to the beginning of World War II for the United States, a living witness. And I asked 1,000 questions, and we talked until he literally fell asleep in his chair because he was 94 years old or 95 years old. But yeah, we talked for about 4 or 5 hours. And then after he passed away, his family came in. I made him an honorary submariner. I gave him a submarine warfare pin, and I said, "I'm making you an honorary submariner. I'm not supposed to do this, but I'm doing this for you." And he was so honored by that. And he wore it on his Pearl Harbor survivor's cap for the last 2 years he was alive. And then when he passed away, the family came down and gave me his hat
Wow.
to put with the newspaper that he autographed.
That's cool.
Dude, he was an amazing man. But yeah, he was in the Coast Guard, which I have mad respect for.
You know, I wish I would have appreciated World War II veterans when there were more of them.
Yeah, there aren't many left.
But when I was busy serving my own enlistment, I don't know. I knew they were there and I appreciated them.
We
But
just assume they're always going to be with us.
and
Take 'em
then
for granted.
to have that common ground and that appreciation of service to your country, maybe I didn't recognize the desire or the need to thank them.
Yeah. Or just to hear their stories.
Yeah.
You know, living history. Like that's the Vietnam veterans right now.
Yeah.
A lot of Vietnam veterans are dying. You know, they're in their 70s, and their Agent Orange is killing a lot of them. And
Yeah. What's unfortunate is what gets lost in the mix are the veterans that served in Korea.
oh,
You
yeah,
know, they're what
forgotten more.
yeah, forgotten. And the veterans just the same. And I think because it was so wedged in between Vietnam and the Second World War that they just kind of fall one way or the other. Like if you see a Korean War veteran in town, depending on how old they might be, oh, did you serve in Vietnam?
Yep.
Oh, wait, you're on a walker or you're in a wheelchair. Did you serve in World War
Yeah.
II? So it's too bad
I appreciate the old guys that wear the ball caps, you know?
Mm.
to tell you where they served.
Yeah, and the reason why these old veterans wear these ball caps is not to advertise to the world that they served. It's so that so other veterans can identify other veterans.
Oh.
Because a person that hasn't served is just going to walk right on past that person. But me, who's been in the Navy, I see somebody wearing a ball cap, and I'm reading it, and I'm like, do I know that ship? Do I know that boat? If it's a Submariner, you're in for a long talk with me.
Yeah.
I w- I want to hear everything that you experienced, went through, what years you served, where you were stationed. Do we know any of the same people?
Well, and that's cathartic for both parties.
Yeah.
You know, to let go of the military is
How come you don't wear a ball cap? I don't wear one either.
I don't like hats, but I don't. I worked really hard to let go of what parts of the Marine Corps I was supposed to let go of to survive as a civilian.
Mhm.
You know, the fitness expectations, the haircut, the arrogance, the attitude doesn't make for a very good spouse or father. And I had to work hard to let go of all of that. And I don't,
You hung up the danger.
but thankfully I didn't hang up the ability to be dangerous. You know, and we talked about that this morning.
Mm.
I still understand the importance of being dangerous.
Yeah.
But as I grow older, I also understand the necessity to control that danger.
You're supposed to be dangerous, but good.
Yeah. Yeah. Put it on your socks. But as I'm at the point I am in my life, as a father to 5 children and as a husband and as a business owner, I'm too much of my energy, too much of my mind is focused on other things that I don't know if I wanna go back down that road as often as a hat would make me.
Yeah.
Because you're exactly right. Every time I see one of those hats, "Hey, man, thanks for your service." I enjoy that. Like, that little moment where I get to go back to 21-year-old Sergeant Boyd, United States Marine Corps at 190 pounds and can do 36 pull-ups. I miss that.
36, that's impressive.
Yeah, I had to work really hard at that.
36 is impressive. Was that a requirement? Is that your max?
That's my max.
That was your max?
Yeah, and here's the funny thing,
What
when
the required was probably what, 15,
20
20?
for a perfect score.
Yep.
But when I went to MEPS in Boise, Idaho on July 20th of 2003, they do a quick push-up or
Yeah,
quick
just to see where you fall in.
right, so you don't embarrass them.
Yep.
And I didn't even get 3. I got 2.5 maybe. And I remember Gunny Breivik, I think his name was, he says, you better get down to MCRD and give me 3 pull-ups. If you embarrass us," and they send you to pork chop platoon, you know,
Yep.
the fat bodies
The
that
Fat
can't
Boy program.
right.
Yep.
And I did. I got 3 pull-ups. And even still, senior drill instructor Gunnery Sergeant McBride said, "Fix this." As he's jiggling my little belly, he said, "Fix this or I'll fix it for you." And
That's some tough love.
yeah, and when I
How many
graduated,
pull-ups can you do now?
-3. I can't do I don't know the last time I tried, but I know it would hurt every joint from my fingertips down. And with the transplant hernia that I've got,
I can only imagine.
yeah.
Yeah, you use all your ab muscles to do a pull-up. At my height, I think I could do 47 pull-ups. Today, right now, I can probably do 22 or 23.
I'm lucky if I could get 10.
Come on, man. Come on.
But I towards the when I re-enlisted, I made my fitness my priority.
Yeah.
I never got anything lower than a first class PFT from that point. But on my final fitness test in Marine Corps Air Station Miramar, when I had already had my papers to get out, I had my final PFT, and I did in no time got right up to 20. And the captain said, "Why'd you stop? Keep going." I didn't know what my max was. Every time I did pull ups, it was either my pyramid that I did at the end of my run, and I kept going and got 36. Now I wonder, maybe I could have gotten 40 or more had I not hung there for 15 seconds while he was asking why I was hanging on the bar. But because I had gotten that personal best, we went and ran our 3 miles, and it was the fastest 3 miles I had ever ran because I was on top of the world. coming from that fat body that could do 2.5 pull-ups, I had just done 36 pull-ups. I spent the weekend in the barracks trying to talk myself out of re-enlisting. I was I was it. I was like, this is what I'd wanted. The accomplishments, the rank, the uniform, the fitness, it's all there. And meanwhile, Kate's back in Minnesota, 9, 8 months pregnant with Savannah, little Logan toting around, and I'm like, "Ah, no, I can't do that to them." So
Mhm.
I got out. Yeah. But anyway, I appreciate the moments when I go out to Home Depot or out and about and I see the hat and I thank them, because for a moment there's that similarity and I get to remember who I was. But I would give the maturity and mental fortitude I have today over the youth and fitness of my 20s.
Amen. Yeah, the wisdom.
If I could have both,
Yeah, if you could have both, you'd be real dangerous.
yeah. But if I could ever go back in time and just say, "Hey, don't be so stupid sometimes.
Yep.
You're gonna make some mistakes that are gonna haunt you for the rest of your life. Don't make those mistakes." I probably would tell myself to shut up,
Hand that to Mike.
which is bad. But you know how when you're in your 20s, you're invincible and you don't want to listen to anybody. But this thing's amazing.
I wanted you. So, last podcast, we were doing the watches and you were showing me your watch and we ran out of time. I wasn't going to show you a watch. I was going to show you that 1911. That is a 100% engraved 1911, is absolutely gorgeous. But what I wanted you to see was what was engraved in the very front of the grip. Yeah. What does it say?
That's my last name,
It is
Boyd.
Boyd.
Yep.
Man, that's cool.
Isn't that awesome?
Yeah,
That came to us from another dealer. And Blake and I saw that and we were like, does that say Boyd?
that's cool. Hey, that's the last thing. I almost thought it would say something like anything.
Smile and wait for the flash. No, it says Boyd.
How cool is that? It's a Rock Island 1911 with my last name on it. That's awesome.
I thought you would appreciate that.
No kidding. This is wild, man. The detail, and I like how they did it with the stars on the slide. The stars are what's elevated, so everything else on the slide was taken down.
Yeah.
That's
I
a
don't-
lot of material removed.
That's a lot of material removed on that 1911. But yeah, it's really well done.
Man, that's cool. Yeah, thanks. That's neat. I like the fluted or the ported barrel.
Hmm. Yeah. So
That's
what else do you want to talk about? What's on your mind?
Well, I am wearing that watch,
Hmm.
the Luminox that I talked about last week that was still in the box and unfitted. I finally fitted it. So
Yeah.
it is my favorite watch now.
That's your favorite one?
Mhm. Although I've put it on in a hurry to get out the door this morning. It's got the wrong time on it. It is it is an automatic and it sat for a week.
Hmm.
But so I had a list of things here that I wanted to talk about. So, it is the middle of December. I wanted to bring up for a moment the topic of New Year's resolutions. I don't know where the idea of a New Year's resolution ever came from, or if it was like Weight Watchers trying to sell a plan,
Maybe.
but I've never been a fan of New Year's resolutions. There's
Why?
Well, there's no better time than the present. If you're gonna make a change, make it now.
I
Yeah.
agree.
Your
Why?
body doesn't know the difference between December 31st and January 1st.
Why would
Yeah, and the sun will rise and the sun will set on both of those days the same way.
So you're saying you don't need a day to tell you that you can use today as a fresh start?
That's it. If you are going to have a New Year's resolution, just make it a resolution and begin in the moment,
Yeah.
and I think that's why the majority of New Year's resolutions fail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you had to talk yourself into it just to talk yourself right out of it.
Have you ever done a New Year's resolution?
I don't think I have.
I don't think I have either. Have
Uh,
you, Blake?
no?
I
Never done one.
a big New Year's resolution is people's health.
Yeah.
I'm going to go to the gym. I'm going to eat healthier. I'm going to take care of me. That's why I think that if that's your resolution, make it your resolution now. And that's what got me to thinking about New Year's resolutions. And it's got to be just pushed on society a lot like the need to buy Christmas gifts and Christmas presents and the economy generates these advertisements, and these, "You need this, and here's why, and you've gotta have this, and let's buy it from me," and I think the New Year's resolution is the same, just a different slice of the same bologna. It's nonsense.
It is.
If you want something, go get it. If you wanna
Absolutely
be a
not.
healthier you, go get it. And maybe there's a fitness plan that you wanna buy into, and yeah, they got a Black Friday sale, and if it was something you were already planning on getting yourself and you take advantage of the sale, good for you. But to turn right around and decide that because it's on sale, you need it, and it can be your resolution is just buying into the gimmick that the economy throws in our face every day. Those ads and that airtime are what pays the bills for people.
How do you feel about the commercialism of Christmas?
I hate it.
I do too. I do. It's like you're being forced to
Right.
fill the bottom of the Christmas tree because if you don't have a bunch of stuff for your kids to open, you're a bad parent.
Right.
That's what the economy and what advertisers tell you. It's like a successful Christmas is a full house and 1,000 presents and lots of food.
You're taken away from what Christmas really is.
And what is
Well,
that?
It's the birth of our Savior.
Birth of Christ.
you know, I feel there's guilt that, our kids, they're young like we were when we
Then who's Santa, Blake? If Christmas is about the birth of Christ and the miracle of having God made flesh come to the earth and save us, who is Santa Claus? I have the answer. I just want to know if you know what it is.
I don't.
So the world wanted to celebrate Christmas too. So they invented Santa Claus. And the world will be like, Santa this, Santa that. It's like just like Easter. Easter is like the Super Bowl of Christianity. It's the resurrection of Christ. And what does the world celebrate? The Easter Bunny. You seeing a theme here?
Yep.
So the world is like Santa. Christianity's like, no, Christ.
God gave you life. Your
Yeah.
birthday present is your. Let me start over. God gave you life. Society thinks that we got to give you a gift and a cake.
And I mean, we do give tons of gifts to our kids, but it's like the world is like, you have to give them a lot. And if you don't give them a lot, you're a bad father.
Yeah, you're failing.
And I feel that conflict every year,
Yeah.
but this year especially because my kids are getting older, and they're to the point where they understand the contrast and the difference and the true meaning of Christmas.
Right.
And we've never showered our kids with these obnoxious gifts to spend the next 12 months paying it off.
Yeah. And then they play with it once and then it's just stuff in your
Right.
house and they don't even like it or want it. And
But the I don't know how to explain how I felt, but when Kate and I were shopping for Christmas presents, it's just I don't know. I was conflicted. Like, why are we doing this? This is stupid.
yeah,
I hate that every year we have to come because someone tells me I have to.
you're a normal man, dude. This
Yeah.
whole time I thought you were like a robot, but it turns out you're actually normal.
I'm half robot. It's
Trust
Like-
me, we're all feeling your pain right now.
you know?
and I don't want to take the Christmas wonder away from the kids. Like we have a Christmas tree up, but nowhere in our house is there a Santa Claus.
Yeah, same.
You know,
Did
And
you ever, how old were your kids, or was there a moment when you used to do Santa and then you were like, yo, I've been lying to you. Santa ain't real. And
You
if
know-
Santa Claus is watching, I'm sorry. I just made the naughty list.
Sorry. No.
Santa's like, you are publicly broadcasting that I'm not real. Naughty list.
I think all of our kids just kind of knew. Like Jace called it right away. Like, oh, the Santa Claus put them down there. He's like, no, Santa Claus isn't real. Jace is just quick.
Yeah.
I think there was some time when like Logan and Savannah were younger, they bought into it because everywhere you turned, that's what they were told.
Basically, when you're telling your kids Santa's real, you are lying to your children.
Yep.
When my wife and I came to Christ 17 years ago, we sat down. Ariana was 5 and Grant was 3. And we told them, we said, hey, we want to tell you Santa's not real. The world celebrates Santa. The reason Christmas exists is because it's the birth of Christ. That's what Christmas is all about. And instead of them being upset with their mom and I, they were like, wow, that's awesome. You trust us enough. You're treating us like we're old, like we're adults, and telling us the truth. Like they really respected when we told them, hey, this isn't real, but this is.
Yeah. And I mean, I would have been like, so the lump of coal wasn't Santa. You jerk.
'Cause, I mean, a 5-year-old is going to believe you.
Mm.
If you say Santa Claus is going to come down the chimney and leave you gifts under the tree, you got to go to bed right now. Otherwise, he ain't going to come. Every parent has done that, by the way.
Yeah.
They
And
believe you.
that level of manipulation.
I mean, you don't want to start your foundation of your relationship with your kid in a lie,
Right.
you know?
Yeah. And I don't think a lot of parents that do it realize they're doing it.
They don't.
Again,
It's innocent.
and that's what they were taught.
Oh,
And
they
that's
were
what
taught that.
every storybook
Yep.
is written that way. Every TV show is written that way.
Even the Easter Bunny, like the Easter Bunny is going to leave you a basket full of candy.
I mean, the Easter Bunny was at the White House a few years ago,
That's
So-
right.
and our president wouldn't leave him alone.
Was he sniffing his hair?
All of it.
I want to know what the bunny rabbit smells like.
I bet when the cameras were turned off, Joe Biden climbed into that bunny suit with him and sniffed his heart away.
Oh, so creepy.
Yeah. Yeah, but if anybody wants to make a New Year's resolution and has kids, make that New Year's resolution not to lie to your kids next year.
Dude,
Right.
right? But yeah, you're right. I mean, we're not guaranteed any amount of time on this planet.
Right.
Why wait until January 1st to
Yep.
start something that's good for you?
Right.
Unless your New Year's resolution is to drink more scotch.
That you can start.
You could start today. No,
I could
don't.
Could have come up here with scotch in my coffee cup, and you all would have not been proud of me and being
We w-
determined. You would have wanted to do an intervention.
Yeah, we wouldn't have judged you, Mike.
No.
At
This
least,
is just
at least
coffee, by the
not to
way.
my face.
Did you see that Mike was drinking again?
Yep. Always thirsty.
Stay thirsty, my friends. Stay thirsty.
So, New Year's resolutions and the time of year it is, we're getting pretty close to the end of the tax stamp that we've talked about several times on the podcast.
Yep.
That being said, perusing Facebook, I think it was this week, I had seen something about a blackout period where there were going to be no more suppressor applications processed.
Yep.
Is that?
So
And what is that? What?
the NFA branch, they have a lot to do with e-forms. So e-forms has to be changed and altered, but they're shutting down NFA processing on the 20th for Form 1s and Form 4s. So if you want to build your own suppressor, that would be a Form 1. They're shutting those down. And then Form 4s, they're not processing any of those starting on the 26th. It is Christmas holiday and they're all federal employees, so most of them have this time off anyways. But they want to shut it down and then fire it back up on 1st of January. Government isn't concerned about you getting your items in a timely manner, so they don't really care about processing forms. Also, there's only about 14 to 16 people that work at the NFA branch. So we're not talking about an entire office full of cubicles with hundreds of people working there. We're talking about 14 people.
Yeah. It's a lot smaller than you'd think it was.
It's awfully dangerous to have that many people wield such power.
And if you think about it, those 14 people, they have all the power when it comes to Class 3 items such as
Yeah.
cans, SBRs, short-barreled shotguns, machine guns. They say yes or no.
So you say they're stopping, or they're putting a stop to Form 1s and Form 4s,
They are stopping processing those forms on the 26th.
but they will
Resume on the 1st of
Okay.
January.
Are there any changes or amendments to the forms that require this change, or is it just a break?
Yeah, so the last stop in e-forms is the payment where you pay your $200 tax and then your form is officially submitted once you make that payment. E-forms is going to be a $0 payment amount. So that's what change is going to be on e-forms,
Okay.
Yeah.
where you
okay.
no longer have to pay the tax.
So it's probably a software tech uploaded a.
Dude, an e-forms is like a 20-year-old software program. It is a pile of steaming garbage.
It's so bad.
Yeah. So there are some changes that were needed.
Oh, I don't think they're not improving the system.
No.
All they're doing is they're changing the payment amount from 200 to 0. That's the only change they're making. And then the Clio also no longer needs to be notified.
Yeah.
Do you still need your thumbprints and stuff?
Yeah,
Your
you still
Yep.
got to be fingerprinted. You still got to be photoed. We do all that here. It takes 10 minutes. It's not a burden. It's super easy.
So this blackout period by the NFA branch is another example of government time mismanagement.
Well, yeah, it's government saying we're going to do what we want and you can't do anything about it.
Yeah.
We're going to black it out for 5 days. Get bent.
Essentially.
That's obnoxious.
It is. Totally agree with you.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's frustrating. Yeah, I
Mhm.
mean, today is what, the 13th of December? So, I mean, somebody can still come in, buy a suppressor, pay the $200 tax stamp, and get a suppressor in 24 hours to 1 week. You've got plenty of time before the blackout to come in and get it canned. Or you can wait the 20 days and skip the $200 fee, and then we don't know what the wait is going to look like because it has never happened.
Yeah. I am interested when we come back after the new year if we can't kind of provide updates with each podcast to how the suppressor
Oh,
market is doing.
I think that's our duty.
Yeah,
I agree.
like sales and wait
Well,
times.
we're already seeing it. So yesterday we had a bunch of dealers contact us and really stock up on suppressors
Yeah.
because they know and they see what's coming. There's going to be a massive shortage of suppressors because instant $200 discount.
Yeah.
So now instead of buying one, I'm going to buy 5. I'm saving $1,000.
Kind of like a government coupon.
It is.
Yeah. Yeah, and we've talked into great detail a few times about how important suppressors are, and I think that it's great that more of them are going to be distributed. I had a conversation this week in my shop with somebody that works with Clearwater County. I think at the for I was contacted actually by Karen, or Karen had referred me to inspect and test fire all their competition rifles and pistols and such.
Yep.
And um, I went into I talked with this individual about suppressors and how advantageous and beneficial they are, even in the world of hunting. And they had never thought of them like that. How many people are like minded? It would have never crossed their minds that in the world of hunting, when you're out in a tree stand or you take an animal, what kind of favor are you doing to everybody else out there trying to fill that tag by using a suppressor?
Yeah.
Nobody thinks of that.
One thing I have to say, I got to say this. So even in countries where you cannot own a firearm easily, for example, like Switzerland, you can't buy handguns, but hunting rifles are super normal. You can walk into a hardware store and buy a suppressor like you're buying a hammer. No paperwork. It's a piece of metal. You're doing the community a giant service by owning one and putting it on your rifle and hunting with it, a regulated item. So America does some things amazingly well. We have the Second Amendment. The world does not have the Second Amendment. America is unique that it has the Second Amendment. Don't mess with our guns. But we heavily regulate something as simple as a suppressor, where in a nation where you can't even easily get guns, a suppressor is seen for what it is. It's a health and safety product. It cuts down on noise pollution.
Takes out
You
the
can just
recoil.
walk in and buy it off the shelf.
So it's like the equivalent of a doorstop.
You're buying a doorstop. It's not, you don't fill out paperwork. It's like buying a box of ammunition. You don't fill out paperwork. You just buy it and you leave with it.
Yeah, it just comes down to the desire to tax and control.
Yeah. So some things in America we do amazingly well. Other things make no sense.
Yep. And there are other things in other countries that don't make any sense, like driving on the wrong side of the road.
Right. Exactly.
Talking about suppressors on pistols and everything else, I wanted to ask, do you think that suppressors would ever serve? I don't know, this is a bizarre question.
Oh, I'm going to like this.
Do you think suppressors would ever serve a purpose or have a purpose in the concealed carry world?
Blake, you want to take this one? Tell them about our concealed carry.
We do have a concealed carry 9mm suppressor. So the hard thing about having a suppressor that's small enough to carry on your conceal is if it's a big, heavy suppressor, it's going to require a booster in it. So it'll operate on your semi-automatic handgun. And with suppressors, the bigger it is, the quieter it is. So, I mean, in a concealed carry situation, I could definitely see a suppressor being, I don't know, kind of a, I don't know. I guess I don't really know how to answer that
We
question.
have the GAK Armament concealed carry 9mm can, and it's so small, so light, you could carry with a can on it. Also, there was a gun made by Silencer Co. called the Maxim 9, which had an integrated suppressor built into the handgun. It looked just like RoboCop's handgun. We had 4 or 5 of them, sold them all, and it was an integrated suppressed 9mm handgun, and it was awesome.
I'd love
Super
to see
cool.
off-grid suppressors start to design that.
Integrated?
Like, not necessarily
That would be cool.
the entire firearm, but if I could buy a 1911 with my name on it
Yeah, that
and
one.
then come here and buy a slide system
Oh,
that has an integrated suppressor, which would not double the length of the slide, and make it work in a concealed carry
you
situation.
bring up a really, really good point. So now that the $200 tax stamp is going away, you are going to see a lot of innovation in the next 10 years with
Oh, yeah.
suppressors. I mean, you're going to see stuff that we have not seen in the last 100 years. You will see it in the next 10. There's going to be development, design, so much ingenuity is going to, I mean, it's going to blow your mind what is going to come out in the next 10 years. You're
What
going to
made
see a lot of that. I mean, integrally suppressed handguns, you're going to see this and it's going to be commonplace.
what made me think about that was you had posted a video, I think yesterday, and you had a Keltec rifle with a suppressed barrel.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
integrally suppressed.
Yeah.
CQB.
And how brilliant would it be to just have that in some way for a pistol? And then if you were to be able to use that in a concealed carry situation,
Yeah.
what kind of an advantage would a suppressed pistol provide? If I had to draw my firearm at the county fair and defend myself,
Yeah.
what advantages or disadvantages would come from that? I don't think there'd be any disadvantage.
No disadvantage. You're going to save your hearing.
Well, you're going to save the chaos.
Yeah.
If and that's the one thing I hate the most about people that decide to, know, harm others with firearms in public is they're doing it for the attention. How much chaos can I cause in a hurry? And if I have this suppressed firearm, you're putting a stop to it and you're doing it quietly.
Yeah.
And I can draw that pistol without having to, pull it out of your pant leg or
Yeah, it needs to be small.
Yeah.
But I mean, in the heat of the situation, you're going to have so much adrenaline pumping that the sound is going to be the last thing that you're concerned about.
Mm-hmm.
But after you're involved in something like that, your ears are going to be ringing, You don't shoot a handgun without hearing protection.
Right. And I don't know. It came across my mind and I thought it would be a good topic.
There will be a
So,
lot of innovation in that in the next, maybe even the next 2 years. You'll see a lot of integrally suppressed handguns hitting the market.
another part of this question I have for you is, have you ever seen a suppressor on a revolver?
Yes, we have done it.
Kidding.
We've done it. We've sold probably 5 of them. There's only one revolver on the face of the earth that you can put a can on. Do you know which one it is?
Is it the judge?
No.
No, then I wouldn't know.
Well, the home defender judge is threaded, and we did put
We have played around there. The Heritage Tactical Cowboy chambered in 22 long rifle. It comes with a threaded barrel, so I couldn't get one from any of my distributors. So I went on Gunbroker and I bought one. I paid full retail for it, which was $219. Shipped it in, threw a Scorpius on it, took it out on the range, and we shot it. And the gun got louder.
it was horrible.
It was the worst experience I've ever had in my life. The gun got louder. There's one revolver you can put a suppressor on, and it's the Tula Arsenal M1895 revolver,
The Nagant.
the Nagant revolver made by Russia. And the reason why you can suppress this one is when you pull the trigger, the cylinder moves forward and it seals the cylinder gap, and it actually works. We've threaded 5 of them. We sold them with a can. Always online, always on Gunbroker, because it's super weird, super rare. Where are you going to get another one? That's what Gunbroker is for.
There are a couple of black powder revolvers that I believe do that same thing. It moves forward
Move forward.
Interesting.
because it makes perfect sense. When you look at a revolver fire all that gas and all that pressure and sound escapes
Yeah.
every which direction before
Yeah.
it even makes the barrel.
Just like
Yeah.
the tactical cowboy.
Yeah.
You put a can on it. We had to do it. We had to see it for ourselves to see if it would work. And the gun actually got louder. We took the can off and it was quieter.
Yeah.
So the
All
threaded
that
barrel is just a sales tactic.
all
Yep.
that sound, it goes path of least resistance.
Yep.
So the sound, instead of going through the can, which we thought, hey, even if it knocks it down 50%, it's a win. No, all that sound came right out of the cylinder gap, and it sounded just like a loud clap right next to your ears. Like, oh, this is terrible.
Probably like shooting a short-barreled M16.
Dude, it was so bad.
It was painful.
Or an AR pistol.
Yeah. Took the can off, sold the gun.
Good for you.
Extra hand-
Hopefully you got your money back. Yeah. And talking about revolvers and concealed carry, this thought would have never crossed my mind, but in this time of year in the winter when everyone's got multiple layers, coats, sweaters, and so on, in my opinion, the very best firearm to carry in self-defense is a hammerless revolver.
Okay.
You can empty that wheel,
Yep.
and it's not going to catch or snag. That slide system of any semi-automatic pistol is going to one and done. It's going to jam. So anybody that needs a reason to buy their significant other a pistol for self-defense and as a Christmas gift, revolvers that have no hammer are an excellent option.
We do sell a lot of hammerless revolvers.
I've been wanting one.
Another thing that they're good for too is a lot of ladies when they get older, men too, not just ladies, they have a hard time racking the slide on these small guns because the shorter the slide is, the shorter the spring is, and you're fighting that spring when you go to rack it, and they don't have the hand strength anymore. Where a revolver, you've got a nice smooth trigger press.
It's a grip, a different wrist angle, and it takes some training. What better reason than to just buy a few boxes and go to the range?
Yeah.
Have some fun, learn your pistol.
Guns make amazing Christmas presents.
They do. Watches and guns and knives.
Gentlemen, ladies, guns make amazing Christmas presents.
Yes.
Yep.
It is still legal to give a gun as a gift to a family member.
Yeah. And even as a gunsmith, as a gunsmithing perspective, there are like if maintenance is a big factor into what pistol you buy for self-defense, there's always the Glock or the Striker Fire Smith & Wesson or Springfields. There's not a lot of parts to them, and taking the slides off and cleaning them and maintaining them is simple enough.
Yeah.
And the instructions are easy to follow in the owner's manuals. Parts are easy to get online. So from a maintenance perspective, there are several options out there for those who aren't mechanically inclined or just don't want to have to worry about it. But the revolver is even more simple. Even lately, there's a spring-loaded detent on the side that allows you to pull the cylinder pin or cylinder rod, and the cylinder comes out, and you can maintain the firearm. So there are advantages to the semi-automatic slide-operated pistols or the revolvers. And I wanted to bring up revolvers because I don't have a lot of experience with revolvers, and I don't think they get talked about enough. But they're fun to shoot. You feel like a cowboy, or I feel like a cowboy, shooting them. And in the world of self-defense, they are an outstanding option. The only downfall is you're limited to 6 to 8 rounds.
Yeah.
And reloading them takes a while, unless you've got those speed loaders, which get bulky. And, I have a fanny pack that I need to start wearing more often that I use for my concealed carry firearm. And if I had that and half a dozen speed loaders in it, maybe I'd carry a revolver.
We are in the winter carry season, which is awesome.
Yep.
I mean, you can pull out Granddaddy's 1911 and carry that bad boy. Your 44 Magnum, like fair game. I mean, your Carhartt jacket, man. You could be carrying Jerry Miculek's 44 mag under that thing. I wouldn't know.
Desert Eagle.
Deagle. Winter carry.
Yes. Carry a short-barreled Marlin 336.
You could. You could.
Shoot it down my arm.
Yeah. Let's shift gears a little bit here. Let's talk about our favorite customer of the week. Let's go there. The Christmas season brings out the best and the worst of all of us, does it not?
I'm wishing there was scotch in my cup for this conversation.
I can see the blood pressure rising. So all of us are in the customer service industry. Blake, you're in the customer service industry. I'm in it. You're in it. We're all in it. Christmas season does something to people. People get really, really joyful, and other people get really, really angry. And it's quick. It's like a switch being flipped, and it goes from super pleasant to just, holy cow, what's happening right now? I'll go first, and then you can go. My favorite customer of the week. So we had a gentleman come into the shop and wanted to buy an AR, and his background check got denied. Straight up red light.
You
Straight up
cannot
red
have
light.
it.
So obviously we did not transfer the firearm. And so we refunded his money because we take payment before they do paperwork. We refunded his money, and the bank didn't put his money in his account real fast. I think it took 24 hours or something like that.
Yeah.
There we go. I think it's this one. He left a voicemail, and I'm going to play it for you. Are you ready for this?
Awesome. Let's
Here we
hear it.
go. I'm going to turn up my volume as loud as it'll go. Here we go.
I want my fucking money back.
Yeah.
Yep.
So what does he want back?
I'm
His
going to
money.
play it for you one more time.
I want my fucking money back.
Yeah. So,
this person who got red lighted, denied right away,
yes.
called you and left that kind of voicemail.
Yes.
If there was ever affirmation
Yes.
to personality,
Yes.
Exactly.
thank you, U.S. government.
Right?
I told my crew, I was like, guys, the NICS system, praise God for it.
It works.
This is somebody who should not have a gun.
It's bizarre. What?
And I mean, that's not even on me. Like, we take payment, we issue a refund.
Yep.
And a bank can take 24 hours to put that money back in your account.
Yeah, and
Even though the money never even left his account. But it showed a transaction, an attempted transaction, and a refund. He just was completely unhinged.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
people. I don't know what I'm trying. It's if he ever had to wonder why he got turned down for that transfer.
And it wasn't us that turned it down. It was
Right.
the FBI that turned it down. But guys, be patient with people. If you go to a store, be nice. Be kind. It goes a long ways.
And it's not that hard.
It's not hard to be nice.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
give people the benefit of the doubt.
We're all human.
Like, we're not here to take advantage of anybody.
No.
You're here to serve.
We're here to serve the community. Like,
Right.
be nice to people.
Yeah.
Would you ever leave a voicemail like that?
No,
And he didn't say his name, but I knew who he was.
I would never leave a voicemail like that, if not only because it might be played on a podcast. It's public information.
It is public information.
Gave those words and that voicemail to you, and he left it in a voicemail.
I was going to delete that when I got it. I was like, how rude.
Yeah.
But then I was like, you know what? Training opportunity. I'm going
Right.
to take this to the shop. I'm going to play this for the crew. I want them to know everything. I don't keep anything from my employees. I want them to know everything.
That's the kind of voicemail that goes in an Eminem song.
I mean, you could make a rap out of that one pretty easily.
Yep. So
Now it's your turn.
yeah, there's this gentleman, and I'm a one-man gunsmithing shop.
Yep.
And there aren't a lot of gunsmiths, and I am wonderfully busy. Sometimes I don't get back to people as fast as
They would like.
right. But this knucklehead left me a voicemail asking about a barrel to get threaded, and I called him back. This number is not accepting voicemails at this time, or not accepting calls at this time. Okay, whatever.
That's annoying because then they don't even know that you tried to get a hold of them.
Right.
No.
We've encountered that a bunch.
So I sent him a text message that explained everything. I said, I tried leaving you a voicemail. Voicemail box is full, or you're not accepting calls. Needless to say, I tried calling on several different occasions. And he just replies, thanks. And then a week or two later, he calls me again with a completely different question. And in the text message, I'd explained what my time frame is and what costs and everything. And so I didn't leave any questions unanswered. Calls me again with a different, and again, I tried to return the call. Voicemail was full, or it wasn't accepting calls or something. Again, I sent a text message. Well, and this guy always calls when my phone is on silent, and my phone is on silent when I'm not open for appointments. You know, I need that time to myself. I can't be fielding phone calls at 10 p.m. or 7 a.m. So at like 7 a.m. a few days ago, I get this voicemail that is just profanity laden. I would rather effing travel to effing Fargo to work with a gunsmith before I'll ever effing work with you. You don't know how to, your voicemail is BS. You don't call people back. You don't this, and you're a bad gunsmith. And okay,
Wow.
you know, have fun with that gunsmith in Fargo.
This is after you had been texting him back
Right.
and forth?
Wow.
Thanks for doing me the favor and saving me the trouble. I
Oh,
don't know who you are. I don't want to know who you are. I have better things to do and better customers to serve. My blood boiled for a little while about this. And then it just, quick to remember that I'm wonderfully busy. I don't need to serve people that are so hateful.
yeah.
Yeah.
You know, we get that here too. I mean, when you're out there, when you put yourself out there and you're in the customer service industry, 99.9% of people are amazing. And then you get that 0.01% that just, they become absolutely unglued on you. And it's like, where did that come from? We've had it happen here a few times.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, those are the people that you remember. The human brain is a dirty, dirty trick.
I wish I could remember the names of every good customer,
Yeah.
but unfortunately,
Yeah. And,
uh,
and you don't remember the great interactions you have with people. You remember that.
yeah.
Yep.
You remember that. And it's like, come on, brain.
Why can't
I
I
think it's
remember the good stuff?
I think it's because that testosterone starts to tick up and you have to mentally control it.
Yeah.
So you have that moment ingrained as, I controlled myself.
Yeah.
Why did you control yourself? Because of you.
we had a guy in here one time trying to sell us a bunch of used scopes, and they were nice. They were like Swarovski scopes or whatever, but they were used. And we buy everything here at Off Grid. So we made him an offer on them, and rather than doing a counter offer, he packed up his stuff and he started screaming in the store. He was screaming profanities. He slammed the front door. My door is metal, so it shook the building. Slammed the door, got in his vehicle, did a burnout in the parking lot, hit Easy Street, the road in front of the place, did a burnout, got to the highway. You could hear his tires squealing all the way out. I was like, what is going on?
Like, what just happened?
He was so mad about our offer. Rather than having a conversation and talking it through and making a counter offer and trying to get more money for him, he just absolutely went from 0 to 1,000 and just burned every bridge. And this
Yeah.
was a guy who had been in here 6, 7 times before, and it was always a great interaction. And he never came to buy anything. He always came to sell stuff.
I always hope that people like that don't have a whole lot of others in their lives.
And he's a manager of a store in Bemidji. And every time I see him in that store in Bemidji, I walk by and I'm like, oh my gosh, it's him. Do his coworkers know he is
Right.
that dangerous? He's a dangerous person. He is
Mhm.
super unhinged. 0 to 1,000% like that.
I hope he doesn't have any kids.
I mean, he's
Yeah.
like the kind of guy that I don't want to know him. I don't want to be friends with him. Like,
And that says a lot.
oh gosh.
Just because normally when people act like that, it has to cross a person's mind. Like, what are they going through? Can a conversation with this person help bring them back from this level of anger? But for somebody to be so willing to go to that extreme instantly in a public place, it's who they are. It's a habit they've made and it's
Yeah.
something they've done before. They don't want to or can be helped.
Yeah.
So when you leave me that kind of voicemail, I block the number and I put your name on a list.
Yeah.
I will never help you because you were hostile.
Yeah.
You want to throw a fit and threaten me? That's fine. I can articulate my denial of service because of who you chose to be to me.
So the industry that we're all in is an industry that's based on trust. I have to trust you as a customer, and the customer has to trust me as your dealer or your gunsmith. Like, it's a trust-based relationship. When that trust is severed, I can deny selling you a firearm if I want to. The ATF has told us, if you don't feel comfortable with the person on the other end of the counter, you can just tell them that their background check was denied, even if it wasn't, because it's a trust-based relationship. If you're getting bad vibes, listen to those bad vibes.
Yeah, and it's that trust is, well, it has to be. It's based on safety.
It's safety. And
100%.
if you have a feeling like, hey, this person is not going to pay me for my work, you're not going to do that work. Like, if they tell you, I am not going to pay you, you're like, okay, well, I'm not going to work for you.
Here's your bag of parts.
Well, I actually, if I call you that your firearms are ready to be picked up, and then you come to my shop and tell me that you're not going to pay me, as we're talking about why you won't pay me, the gun quietly gets put back in the gun safe
And locked.
and locked. You don't want to pay me for my services, that's fine. There'll be a lien on your firearm until one way or the other I get compensated for the work,
Right.
Yeah.
which makes me uncomfortable because I hate opening a gun safe when there's a customer in the shop. there's other people's property in there.
Yeah.
I don't even want them knowing what's in my gun safes. So it after this interaction, because it's happened before, I take payment and then the firearm is given.
Yeah.
But yeah, my gun safes don't get open. I would hate for there to be that one time somebody, you know,
Sees what's in there and then
hits me over the head
comes back later.
and a lot of what I have can't be replaced.
Yeah.
But, I think if there was more firearms training in schools, people wouldn't be so quick to lose themselves over firearms.
Mm.
There'd be a bigger understanding, a bigger appreciation. Because when you understand the danger and the risk of something, you respect it. You don't get ready to bungee jump recklessly. You don't jump out of an airplane before making sure things are okay because you've been trained and you understand the risk. And I think when we took firearms completely out of schools and tell kids how bad they are, then not only is there a growing desire that they find or pacify in a video game, but then all of that curiosity gets force fed to them when they're of legal age to go to a gun range or to buy a firearm. And I honestly think that there needs to be firearms back in schools in the form of a curriculum.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when I was in 5th grade, it was mandatory to take firearm safety. And a game warden came to the school cafeteria and there was 100 kids sitting there and all 5th graders were taught firearm safety. And we had to watch those videos, those old school videos from the 70s where the one kid was jumping over a fence with his rifle and he accidentally shot his friend. I mean, I still remember these videos. They were traumatic.
Just
And it was like, holy cow, guns are dangerous. We need to treat them with respect. Goal, achievement unlocked.
right.
Yeah, it needs to be brought back into schools. Like training kids in schools needs to be a mandatory curriculum.
I noticed this. I actually looked up the article when we were talking a minute ago. A real Second Amendment curriculum could be heading to high schools soon. All eyes are turning towards the University of Wyoming, which recently received nearly $1 million in federal dollars
Federal dollars.
to create a Second Amendment curriculum for high school students. So the University of Wyoming has been tasked with federal funding to design a curriculum that could go to high schools.
Dude, Wyoming is killing it. Good for you.
It's awesome.
So it could be going to a curriculum for high schools that highlights the ongoing debates about firearms education in American schools and federal government's role in shaping how Constitution issues are taught, all while understanding and respecting firearms and how to use them.
That says a lot about Wyoming. It says that they are not treating the Second Amendment with kid gloves, that it's
Right.
a responsibility that needs to be passed down and handled with care.
Here is my favorite part about the Second Amendment Foundation website article. The money came from more than $137 million in federal funding that was redirected by President Trump. So thank you,
Right
Mr.
on.
President.
Thank you. That's
So-
awesome.
But yeah, it's a step in the right direction. I really think that there needs to be more firearms curriculums taught in schools.
Amen.
I also think that there needs to be an armed resource officer in every single school in this country. There are too many officers that I don't know. I used to be a law enforcement officer, so I feel okay saying that there are too many officers with not enough to do. It could be a rotating post so people don't become complacent. Rotate these officers throughout the school districts in which they're responsible for.
Yeah.
But if there's an officer presence always in those schools, then it deters those who wish to cause harm.
My personal opinion is that 4 teachers in every school should be armed. Just
Yeah.
4. Nobody knows who they are. Nobody ever sees a gun, but they're armed and ready.
What should they be armed with?
Concealed carry handgun, deeply
So-
concealed.
Like a pistol?
Yeah, of course. And I mean, if you had 4 teachers in that school that were wearing a handgun, because I mean, the school's job is to keep the kids safe before educating them. They're out of your care. They're at the school. They need to be kept safe and then educated second.
Right.
And how are you going to keep them safe if nobody in that school has a firearm?
Yeah.
I mean, you've got retired law enforcement that are teachers. You have retired military that are teachers. I mean, there are a lot of teachers that should not ever carry a gun. You and I both know that. But I tell you, out of the pool of teachers at the school, there are at least 4 there that are competent and capable and willing to do that.
Yep.
And yes, to the school resource officer thing too. Not every school has a resource officer,
Right.
you know? A small school should have armed teachers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you were to have it be a post that was worked for 30 days to help the police officers get off the road, get out of the squad car, decompress a little bit,
Yeah.
be about the schools and be among the
That's a
students
great idea.
in their communities,
Yeah.
interact with them,
Yep.
talk with them face to face.
Humanize the officers.
Right.
You know, they're not a
Yeah.
military weapon. They're a
Right.
member of the community.
And it keeps cynicism here.
They can have a serious positive impact on those kids.
Yeah, and it could have a serious impact on that officer.
It goes both ways.
Yeah.
That's a great idea. Man.
But every single school should have that. And the logistics, like you had said, the logistics and the abilities of every school system, precincts and agencies would defer.
Yeah.
But I just don't know why that's never been discussed yet. And I think it has a lot to do with guns are bad, guns are scary, keep them away from the kids. I bet you'd wish there was an armed resource officer present if there was someone trying to shoot through that. Every single school shooting could have been prevented, shortened by an armed officer.
Exactly.
If you want to argue that the officer could go off the deep end and start doing it himself, that officer could have done that any other day of the week
Yeah.
from that squad car.
That's not something I've ever even
Right.
considered.
It's never crossed my mind.
No, that's never crossed my mind.
The service attitude and the desire to protect is what leads a lot of people to being law enforcement officers to begin with, and that will always be a bigger part of themselves than any desire to harm anything. And that's what makes a great police officer. What makes an excellent police officer is a veteran who become because you want to make quick work of someone that wants to hurt kids.
Yeah.
You arm a veteran.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, dude, that's an hour.
Wow.
We need to wrap this thing up. So, with that being said, we look forward to having you guys back here. You got any closing ideas, thoughts, comments?
I think next week we're going to do a podcast that will be last of the year.
The last one of the year.
We decided that with everything going on in the time of the year, we're going to take a few weeks off and focus on the holidays and our families.
Yep.
So we're going to have until just after the first of the year, we're going to let everyone else enjoy the other good podcasts because we know people are fighting over airtime.
Yeah.
And we
True.
have such a good podcast that we want to let you all get caught up, if not listen to them 2 or 3 times.
I love that.
So
Listen to it twice.
yeah, before we bombard you with more, we'll wrap up the year with our amazing podcast next week, and then we'll leave you to the year.
Perfect. Well, thanks for
That's
joining
awesome.
us, everybody, with the Northern Minutemen
Yes.
podcast. Mike, always a pleasure.
Thank you.
Blake, always a pleasure.
Thank you.
You said just a little bit more this time.
I did.
Keep it up. You're in the right direction.
Appreciate all of you. Thanks for listening.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Adios. Looks like you got some stuff to do down there.
Game on.
Yeah.